What's going on, guys? It's Tony with Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always, and coming to you today to go off the rails and talk about George Floyd. Let me get an Altoid out because this is going to be a good one. So, I have to, first and foremost, start this video off with, we're going to take a moment of silence for the memory and just in thinking of what happened to this man and the tragedy that he suffered. All right, moment over, and I'm ready to talk about it. So George Floyd was a African-American man who was, you can say it however you want to say it, but he was suffocated and murdered on the street by a police officer who had his knee pinned into the back of the guy's neck while George Floyd said he couldn't breathe and slowly died. It was caught on camera. A lot of questions about why didn't the other officers stop him. The police officer in question got arrested a couple days after the fact. Took a while to get that done. And why didn't any of the other people who were taping it stop him? They'd probably be in jail right now if they had done that. There's no excuse that they could use that I don't believe a judge would justify them putting their hands on a police officer and letting them get away with it. I just don't see that happening. That's a very dangerous precedent. Even if they were in the right, I don't think that it would be viewed that way in the court system. Let's just leave it at that. There's been a lot of protests, a lot of things going on. And most recently, there's been some rioting. Now, it always blows my mind when we have these kinds of moments of tension when it comes to race, inequality, and things like that, where people can't just protest without the violence. And I do get it. Some of that may be necessary to make that statement. I completely understand that. However, if you made a Mount Rushmore of the civil rights movement leaders from the past 100 years, I'm pretty sure that Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, Rosa Parks, 2 of the 3 of them are on there, right? Did any one of them have a history of violence? And look at the impact they made. So that's just my thoughts on the violence and the rioting and looting piece. Protesting is important. It really is. It gives the people a voice. But there is a better way to do it than destroying your community. Inevitably, someone's going to listen to this and say, oh, well, if you, like, there's so many people doing this. If you think that the rioting is the problem, then you're part of the problem. No, that's not true. And I'm going to give you guys a story. About 3 or 4 years ago, I went to St. Louis to see Billy Joel in concert. There was a police officer, I think his name's like Darren something. He was white, and he killed an unarmed black teen. And the city was having riots. We almost had to cancel our trip because of it. We ended up going, and I remember very specifically there was this part of town where there was a barbecue place, a Magic the Gathering and comic book store, and then a Ben & Jerry's, all pretty close by each other. All 3 of them had damages to their building. There was broken windows, spray paint. There was people who went up and broke the air conditioning unit. And this was the middle of the summer. This was July. So it was hot. And what's funny is, still to this day, I don't understand what Ben & Jerry's did as a restaurant to deserve that. I don't understand how a comic book and Magic the Gathering store deserves that. And everybody loves barbecue, so I don't get it. Plus, most of the people that we interacted with that were working in those places of business were ethnic, one way or the other. So it's really ironic how that works, in my opinion. And it's the same thing that happened here in Champaign-Urbana this past weekend. There's people rioting and looting at the mall, and I asked the question again. What did Macy's and lens crafters, two of the buildings that, from what I've been reading online, had gotten hit the worst. What did they do to George Floyd? I really don't get that. And then there's a place called Moser's Shoes or whatever it's called right by the mall. And they moved over there, broke in and stole some stuff, whoever these rioters were. Peaceful protest is so vital, guys. It really is. Nobody should have to walk out in fear. Nobody should have to live in fear. Not in this country. Okay? We're better than that, damn it. And before I wrap this up, I want to just really piss off the rest of the people who got this far. All lives matter. And we need to say that. Because not all cops are bad. Not all white people are racist. And not all black people are criminals. Not all Hispanics are illegal aliens. All people matter. I'm completely fine with disliking another person, but I do it based on their character, their personality, their morals, and their values, and how that lines up with who I am as a person. I could give a rip less about your gender, sexual orientation, religion, and race, region of the world you came from. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you look like. I care what you bring to the table. All lives matter. We need to stop this superficial weekend warriors only coming out when there's a fucking travesty, and just go find these people that are blowing up Facebook right now with posts and go check their last 6-7 months. Guarantee they're not about the cause like they think. We need to get away from segregating groups. We need to get away from trying to prop up one to equalize it to another and trying to bring down one to equal. Like, we just need to start a new theory or new idea or new saying. All lives matter. We need to teach children to value everybody. Because the day is coming where people are going to be living in such mixed communities that we cannot go through these attempts of, I have to act this way around this race and this way. Like, we have to move past all of this. And we just have to get to all lives matter. The hippies, back in the 60s, the hippies just peace, love, and joy. They didn't promote any race that I'm aware of, at least. They didn't promote any of that. They just said peace, love, and joy. No war, peace, love, and joy. That's what I'm about. So I feel really bad for those of you that try to justify the rioting. I feel really bad for those of you that try and justify the police actions. I feel really bad for those of you that try to justify saying that all lives matter makes this person a racist or does this or whatever. When if we all just say fuck it and decide to reset the playing field, because who makes the rules? Society makes the damn rules, guys. So if we want to step back and say, you know what, fuck it, all lives matter from this point forward, we're going to be equal, then we can do it. It's a matter of we love the talk, but we don't like to back it up. And I am welcoming anyone that disagrees with me to come and talk to me about it. Let's make a tape about it and let's discuss it. Because it's not complicated. It really isn't. That's my opinion. I'm Tony K. I am pro-equality for all people. I am pro-common sense, pro-logic, pro-respect. And you know what? I want to know someone and hate them based on who they are, not what they look like. Because there are some people that may be really badass human beings to be around that look like something you maybe wouldn't be comfortable with. I know some very scuzzy people that, you know, they look clean cut and they're, you know, they look like the type of people you can trust because of da. No, man, they'll fool you. Wolves in sheep clothing. So, that's my opinion. I'm sure that there will be some people who will hear this and try and twist a few things. I welcome it. I ain't going anywhere. I have the same morals and values that I've always had. It's that all people matter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And once again, Let's do our actions in memory of George Floyd and in memory of those who've had struggle, and not create violence because we're just selfish.